Okay, shall we start, Dr. Aisha? All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Dan selamat sejahtera, selamat tengah hari pada semua peserta yang hadir dalam webinar session pada petang ini. So warm welcome to everyone, the lecturers, academics from USM for attending this webinar series this afternoon. For your information, this session is also streamed live to YouTube, and we expect quite a large number of participants will be joining our program today. So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Abdul Karim Alias. I'm the Director of Center for Development of Academic Excellence, CDAE. And this webinar series is brought to you by CDAE as part of our professional development program. And we have two parts or two categories of topics that we cover in our professional development program. One is focus on using technology or integrating technology, online e-learning and so on, as part of blended learning as well. And the other one is more focused on the pedagogy aspect. So we need to have both. So this afternoon, we are very lucky to have our distinguished speaker here, Dr. Aisha Saad. Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha. I am very grateful, very happy to have you back in USM through virtual. Although now you are far away there in UITM. So for your information, Dr. Aisha previously was from USM and now she's with UITM, but it doesn't really matter, still within the education system. So let me first introduce Dr. Aisha Saad. I think many of you here knows her, but anyway, that's a formality. Let me introduce her. Dr. Aisha, okay, I have given the link to her website.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, and I'm also, I would encourage all of you to bookmark this website because there are a lot of useful stuff. This website, or rather this blog, as you can see, is that presentation. Beautiful, inspiring presentation in 21st century in higher education, 21st century higher education. And basically this blog is about presentation, and Dr. Aisha shares her experience, her knowledge, the tricks of the trade. If you want to ace your presentation and prepare a wonderful, beautiful, impactful presentation, okay? And as you can see, Dr. Aisha is currently Associate Professor in Pharmaceutical Chemistry at the Faculty of Pharmacy, UITM. And she has written a few books, one of which you can see here, Elevate. And I want to show you this book on the screen now. And I'm very proud to say that I have a photograph of Dr. Aisha here. Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha. Let me read what she wrote here. For Prof. Karim, my sifu. So I'm very proud to have someone who regard me as her sifu, because she herself is really, I would say, an excellent educator with wealth of experience and knowledge as well. So thank you, Dr. Aisha, for this book. It's actually a very pleasant reading. So I will recommend all of you to get a copy of this book. I'm not simply promoting this book because we have Dr. Aisha here, no. But this is a real value. This is a real value. And I don't get any commission by promoting this book. But it's really a very good book, excellent book. So, and Dr. Aisha also has written, I think, I have made my own notes actually And this book, by the way, was selected for Dana Penulis from Perpustakaan Negara Malaysia. And you see, Dr. Aisha is actually a registered pharmacist. She comes from the science background. So what's on earth is she doing the presentation thing? Yeah. So that shows, the science people can have a very, can have a great creativity, so that which we can really see from her work. Yeah. And Dr. Aisha also has authored another book called The Magic in Your Hand. And she has created a number of online courses on Skillshare, which I've shared the link also, some of which I can read here: Canva for educators, turn Instagram carousels into bite-sized lessons, PowerPoint alternative. I think there are a series of online courses on PowerPoint. Check it out on Skillshare. Canva productivity for non-designers, Canva productivity for researchers, how to structure your presentation, PowerPoint, in a series of PowerPoint online courses. So as you can see, Dr. Aisha is really very much into designing very beautiful, not only very beautiful, but also very engaging presentation. So this afternoon, we are very lucky because Dr. Aisha will be sharing with us the title here, create professional looking title slides with PowerPoint and 3 ways of doing it. So without further ado, Dr. Aisha, the floor is yours. Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you for the really heartwarming introduction, and it's really nice to be back virtually in USM. Okay, since this session is going to be quite short, I think it's about an hour and a half until about 4. Let's dive in a sense. So I'm going to share my slides, my screen, sorry. Okay, all right. So first question, can you all see this screen of mine?
Yeah, can see now.
Yes. Okay. So
First impression pun dah, Aisyah. First impression tengok the first slide pun dah jatuh cinta dah.
That's the thing, Prof. I think in any presentation, professional or academic, I think the first slide is very important because it will speak for you even before you speak.
Wow.
Isn't it? So I think that's the first impression is very important. So that's why I really wanted to do this workshop with all of you. And I hope, by the end of this presentation or this webinar, I hope you're all actually in front of your computer and you have your PowerPoint open. And I hope by the end of this webinar, you would design this slide. How many of you? Let me just see.
Dr. Aisha,
yes.
Aisha, before you proceed,
yes.
Can you just explain what's the meaning of that symbol on the bottom right?
Okay. So this slide is actually copyrighted under my name, but CC BY, let me just make it bigger. CC BY meaning that if you want to use this slide, is actually you need to credit me. NC SA meaning that is only for non-commercial, so you can use it for academic purposes, but not to sell or make it into a premium course. And if you want to use it, you need to share the slide again. SA is shared, like you need to share it as it is. Not really. I said share alike. I mean, you have to use the same license for the slide or for your own slide, in a sense, if you use from this slide. That's the idea. Is that right, Prof, in a sense?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you are free to use it. You don't have to ask for my permission. So that is a CC BY. You can just cite me. All right. So yeah, by the end of this session, I hope you can design this type of slide. So let me just see. Let me just see the bottom where I can see the comments. I'm having actually this WebEx. I'm playing around quite a lot because of the layout. I think just one moment. Okay, I cannot see your comments, but okay, I'm going to proceed with the. Let me just. I have one problem now, Prof. I need to get into the participants.
Oh, you want to see the list of participants?
But I cannot see the chat. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it now. All right, okay, fantastic.
Okay, fine.
All right, okay, fantastic. So now, I think you can see it here. Okay, maybe I actually is blocked by the chat. Let me just see. 1 second. Okay, never mind. I'm going to share with you this Padlet. You can copy this. I'm going to share this Padlet. So we're going to use in this workshop, online workshop, since I cannot see what you have on your screen, in a sense, and there's a lot of you. So I would actually like you to use these resources. There's resources in my blog. There's a blog post that you can use. There's also this good-looking guy that you can use in this online presentation. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the first slide first, then second slide, this one, and the third slide, the one that will hopefully will reach by the end of this session. Yeah. So go into that, and I will also share by the end of this session a free slide template. There are 24, 23 slides there. There are 3 different sets. So I will reveal the password towards the end of the session. So stay tuned, stay tuned. And follow along. If you already have your PowerPoint there, please follow along. Okay, if anything, I think you can put it on the chat. Let me know, yeah? So I'm gonna go back to here, right? All right, so, okay, just put it on the side. Right, so we'll hopefully by the end of this workshop, we'll do these 3 slides. And then you have just now the Padlet I shared. And also if you want to, go into the blog post, you may do so as well. So that's, let me just copy that. Post. Okay, all right. You all get, because it's quite quiet. So can you all get into the Padlet and also the blog post? Can you just, all right, fantastic. Thank you, thank you. I can see that, all right. Okay,
Yeah,
let's start. Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
They can, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in this webinar workshop, we're going to have a look at colors, fonts, layouts, especially on the space arrangement. And space, if you're looking at professional presentation, space is a premium. I cannot emphasize more than that. Don't overcrowd your presentation slides. As much as possible, leave a lot of space in there, and maybe put 1 or 2 texts, maybe 1 or 2 images, so that people can focus on your idea, on your concept, on your work. Yeah, and then we'll talk about also contrast, transparency, and we're going to play a lot with picture format. I think that will give you a really unique advantage in terms of, I think, putting yourself out there and appearing quite unique, let's go into the next one. All right, let's have a look at this simple, really plain looking slides. The font I use here is Times New Roman, and it's just simply just a blank slide with the text. This is also the idea of doing this webinar is because I think this is the first day for the semester for your ITM. So I want to start my own new teaching slides. So I'll start with my title, of course. And this is really simple. And we actually typically use Times New Roman. Yeah. But if you change the fonts to perhaps Arial, you go to medium, it gives a little, really like a modern outlook to that slide. Yeah. And now I'm going to just perhaps going to make it bold a little. I'm going to also now change that to, rather than black, okay, which color to use for your fonts? I would suggest for starters, rather than using black, go for gray or dark gray. Yeah, that will give that executive look that you're looking for in a professional looking title slide. Yeah, so I'm going to go for maybe something like this, or maybe a bit lighter as well. Okay, you'll see a bit later. Yeah, what I mean by that. And then the next thing, once I've done the conversion or transformation in a sense by fonts, I can do, for example, this one, I can actually add a square. This is the simplest, I think, one of the simplest way to make your title slide more captivating, because a lot of people actually will be attracted to colors rather than if you compare that to a plain looking slide, a white background, it's really bland, you know. So I would suggest you add colors. So how do you add colors? What can you use? What are the reference you can use to add colors? If you're looking at professional titles, a professional looking title slide, the first thing I think I would suggest you use is to use the university logo, the institution logo, the company's logo. Yeah. So in this case, if I were to take UITM logo, let me just make it smaller. All right. So let me just see this one. Do I have? Okay, I have it on the side. Let me just. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go to shapes. I'm going to take one of these square. If I go too fast, please stop me and just pull it. Okay, how much of the square should cover the slide? I would suggest you, if you can, stick to the rule of a third, 1/3, either like that, okay? But I would honestly prefer about 2/3 of the slides, something like that, yeah? Doesn't have to be precisely 2/3, but about by eye is about 2/3 of a slide, yeah? And then the next thing is that I take this UITM logo. You can take USM logo if you actually coming watching from other universities or other institution companies. You take the logo of your institution or your company. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to click on the shape. I'm going to go to shape fill. You see eyeballing. Yes, 2/3 eyeballing, 2/3 of it. Yeah. So I'm going to bring out as well these little squares, which is going to be very important. Yeah. And I go this here. I'm going to go to more fill colors. All right. All right. Can you see this? Can you see this little, this eyedropper? Yeah. So we're going to take this eyedropper, and eyedropper, the role of the eyedropper is to just pick a color. So I'm going to head over to the logo. I'm going to choose the yellow color and click OK. Yeah, this is all yellow because it's all grouped up. I'm going to just ungroup it. Yeah. So the first one is yellow. Second one is going to go again. So I'm going to just repeat the same process. Click on this. I'm going to go for the purple. Click OK. And again, go more, more fill color. Click on eyedropper or eyedropper, and then I'm going to go for the dark blue. And okay. So now we have a color palette. yeah, based on here is your ITM logo, and for your respective universities, depending on your universities. So I think USM is orange, yellow, I think, if I'm mistaken, and purple. So it's quite similar in a sense, yeah. So anyway, so what you do now is that you go to here, and in PowerPoint, once you have picked a color, you can simply just go to the recent colors and choose one. Okay, and I'm going to remove the outline so it's better. And now what I do is I'm going to click on right here, reorder object. There's many layers here because there's so many things in here. Yeah. So I'm going to take the first layer, the yellow one, right to the back and click OK. Okay, so that's the first one. Are you all okay? How to claim? Okay, my CPD. All right. Okay. Quite fast for you. Okay. That's the thing. I really miss face to face because then I can check upon you and we can do all that. Can do a lot of feedback, comments, and so on. But look at layers for first time. Okay. All right. So some are okay, some are not. Just slowly. I think I'm gonna do. We have 2 more slides similar to this, so it's okay. Yeah. So now this is a little empty. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this text. Okay. I assume that you have some basic familiarity with PowerPoint already. So that's why I didn't go to open slide and so on. So I assume that you already have a blank slide, you know how to do things. So now is to, in a sense, introduce how you can use the eyedropper to pick colors from the institution branding. So you don't have to really look for own colors. You can start with your own logo. Yeah. All right, so now to make it nicer, what I have here in this example slide is I have a picture. So I'm gonna actually go to this insert. Now, if you go to pictures, what's interesting is that I think PowerPoint has already upgraded itself to make it more easier to use. I think it used to have photo browser, or maybe you have online pictures. But what's now interesting is that it's got stock photos, stock images. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go for something on say pharmacy. You can look for your own as well if you want to, your own area. So they have really nice images here. Sometimes I think it's better than Pixabay or Unsplash. If you are used to those images. These images are from Getty Images. So let's take one of these images. Something like this. So to insert this, it actually requires an online, internet. Yeah. So I'm gonna just, once I have this, yeah, again, let's go back to reorder objects. You can see the layers. So this is in front. Yeah, the image is in front. I'm gonna take it back right to the end, right at the back there, behind the shape, the yellow shape. And I'm gonna click OK. Okay. So what do you think now? Is it better? Does it actually look better? Much better, thank you. So that's one way, sorry, 2 ways. So first get color pick from a logo and use it for your, for your shape. The shape, you try to make it to occupy about 2/3 of the slide. and the rest you can fill it up with an image. All right. So now I'm clicking, I just clicked on that image. Okay, it's already in picture format. All right. What's wonderful in PowerPoint, I have to admit, even though I'm not a PowerPoint user, to be honest, I prefer to use Canva or Keynote, is that it has these three things here. Corrections, color, artistic, and transparency. These are really like easy to use, really like instant transformation of your slide. So for example, if I go to colors, I can change the color of the visual. So I'm going to say I'm going to go something closer to yellow. I can click on that, and it goes. So you can actually change the color of the visual, the color of your this shape accordingly as you go. So for example, yeah, if I go on to the next one, this is just now. For example, this one is the same one compared to the earlier one. It's the same one, but I just changed the color. So, and this can be the second topic of my lecture. For example, in here, principles of pharmacology and medicinal chemistry. So let me just close this because I cannot see. Yeah, and of course, if you want to change from there and there, you can always go to right click, and then you make sure that, you know, let me just see, change picture, and you can change whether you have image from a file, stock photos, and so on. Yeah. Okay. All right. So before I go on, let me ask you, is there something wrong with this slide? Or it looks perfect, that image? Okay. All right. Okay. Contrast, thank you. Contrast of wording, contrast of font. Fantastic, you guys are good. Fantastic, expert already, yeah? So from here, I couldn't even get my coffee yet because I think you guys are very fast. So anyway, so you're gonna go in here, we're gonna actually change the color of the wording because there's lack of contrast. You can't see, isn't it? So one way to guide you as well, go back to the logo. There's a white color there, and you can always go to fonts and you just use, you can pick the color if you want to, or you can just use a white color. Yeah, change everything to white. Okay, so I'm done for my title slide for my lecture in the next few weeks. Yeah, that's one. All right. Now, any question before I go on to the next one, which is this one again? This is worse, isn't it? The font is, you can't really see the fonts. Thank you. Yes, much better. So now the fonts you can see, and you know how to use the color dropper and the color picker, and then the fonts. What dark looking? Yes. So it's dark looking. There's no contrast. So what we're gonna do now is I'd like you to all go to Canva. Canva.com. I'm going to copy this, and can you all go to this color wheel? We're going to just have a quick look on this. I know you love Canva, Dr. Yani. Okay, but we're going to use Canva because I think Canva has a lot of resources to make things much easier to use. And I mean, the idea of making your own slides, data slides, or later your own slides, is to do things in minutes. I don't think you need to spend like half an hour to think of, oh, I don't think I like this color, and what kind of color you have, and explore things. I think it should be like in minutes. It shouldn't be that hard. Yeah. So in here, I think you can go through the color theory. There's this color combination that harmonizes with each other. There are different categories, complementary, all right, monochromatic. You can go through. Monochromatic would be, say, orange, and you have different brightness. Yeah, that's the brightest, and that's a bit darker. So you can use this monochromatic if you want to, analogous next to each other. Yeah, triadic colors that is actually in triangle to one another in the color wheel. Yeah, I can go through here. There's also warm and cool colors. All right. And saturation, which is darker, and luminance or brightness is actually, which is like make it a little bit brighter or brightest. All right. There's also meanings to it as well. If you're going to care to use different colors, go through the meanings, and it will hopefully make your slides in a sense more colorful and interesting. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go up here, which is a very important tool. Okay, let me just see. Okay, here is the one that I want to show you. Say, I'm going to pick a color. Just go back here. This color is, I'm going to go there, go to shape, going to go to more fill color. I'm going to pick this color. So in a Mac, I think I can use this part where in the colors section, and I can actually use this and get this hex code. Can copy this hex code, yeah, and I head back to Canva, and here I'm gonna paste it, and now I already got the color in here, yeah, and here is where I can choose different color combination, which is harmonious rather than yeah, there are also, I think, off trend nowadays of the color blocking and so on. I think probably work in clothing, but not so much, I think, when you want to present a professional looking slide. Yeah. So I'd probably just have a look here and see what are the combination that is, these are quite harmonious. So you actually can play around. So this is my chosen color. I can go in this monochromatic color harmony, and I can actually just choose something which is the opposite, something perhaps a bit more contrasting. Yeah, I'm going to choose that one, perhaps a bit lighter, and I can copy this hex code, go back to my PowerPoint, and then I go to fonts, theme color, more colors, and then paste over the oops. Okay, so this is a bit more soothing if you compare to this one and this one as well. Because they are, if you see the combination is actually, the style was actually, I can't remember now, let me just see. I think it was monochromatic, so it's a bit more soothing than before. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now the question is that how to change the preference even though I don't really like the color. Okay, so you can use the color harmony. You can use one of these. So you can go through, to this Canva, you can go through the different color. This is your main chosen color, for example, yeah? So here, you can go through the different color combinations, and then you play around and find the one that you really like. The main thing you need to remember is that to have a good contrast. So if you have just now the blue square in the slide and you have, say, the red one, it won't give you any contrast. So the next step is to click on this and go for a lighter option, something like maybe pinkish, light pinkish towards white. Yeah, something like that. Probably can work. Yeah. Question Is it true for huge crowd or big class, dark background is better? Okay, in my experience, I think both white and dark background can work fine. They're working fine. The only thing that you might want to consider about whether to use a dark background is when you shoot your lecture. Especially when you shoot, you shoot face to face. Yeah, you have a camera in the lecture hall. Then if you have the white slide, what would happen is that the camera would have to adjust many times because of the changing colors. Whereas if you have a black background, it will mostly stay constant or consistent throughout the shooting, and your text will come up much better. Yeah, so I think it's not really much a problem. I think, you know, whether it's large or small. Yeah, Dr. Nasuha. So how about for online lecture? Any rule of thumb for dark or white background? Ooh, nothing came to my mind. I'm sorry, I cannot give you a good answer. So nothing came to my mind. So I think you can use both. Not really a preference. The only thing you might want to think about is to not use bright colors like this yellow. Let's see. Really yellow or light blue. Let me just go back to my slides. If you have this, for example, and say you go for bright blue, which is really sakit mata, it's not advisable. Yeah. Okay, so that's my take on this backgrounds. There's probably no rule. Just go for don't go for any shocking colors. Yeah. Okay. And don't forget about the branding. The logo it will actually look quite nice. Let me just see whether I can show you. If you have just a little logo on top, maybe on the top, on maybe on the side, it gives a really nice touch to your slide. Yeah, so that's my take on it. Yeah. Okay. Are we all okay? Are you okay? Do you want? Can I go on to the next slide?
Yes, Dr. Aisha, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any tricks when using PowerPoint 2016? Okay. I think the 2016. Yes. The 2016 is fine. But I think anything earlier than 2016 you may have different layouts and so on. It might be confusing. So it's best to upgrade your PowerPoint. And I think USM has got the latest. Subscribe to Microsoft 365, and you can download the latest and install in your computer, yeah, or your laptop. All right. Just now there's a question. Stock images. Let me answer this question. Can I answer this question first? Dr. Hafiz, boleh ya? The stock images are free. Okay, stock images are free within if you were to use PowerPoint, you can use it for free from Getty Images. I think PowerPoint get it from Getty Images, but you cannot sell those images as a standalone. That's the terms of use. Yeah. Okay, Dr. Hafiz. Hafizuddin.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shah. This current slide, the yellow one, I can see the picture at the background, meaning you change the opacity of the yellow color compared to the previous one, the blue one. I can't see the picture behind the color.
Exactly. Right. So yeah, you're right. So if you want to increase or just give a nice touch, a premium touch, I would say, to your slide, increase the opacity. Increase the transparency not opacity, make it less opaque. Yeah. So for example, this is less opaque. You can see, you more or less can see the image at the back. Let me go through the one that just now mentioned by Dr. Hafiz. Let me just see whether I can change that back to maybe like this. Ooh, that's really bad. Anyway, it's okay. So now you can play around with the transparencies to increase the transparencies by going to the format pane and go to fill. Just try at 10% first. There you go. Yeah. If you don't like it, just increase by 5% or 10%. So that gives a nice professional looking premium image or touch to your slides. If you compare to, if I undo this, compared to this one. Okay. Right. Let me just, okay, we good? Great. Okay. All right. Let's go on to, if you have done it, if you have done something similar to this, I would appreciate if you go to the Padlet and upload it here. Yeah. Share your first starter slide. Let me have a look at how you do it or what have you designed. Yeah. And then we're going to move on to the second one, which is this one. This is quite straightforward again. So since we already have this square, yeah, what we're going to do, we're going to actually just pull it down right to a third to the bottom. Okay. A third to the bottom, around that by eye, yeah. And then you just rearrange the wording, the fonts. So I'm going to just, I mean, the idea here is to, in a sense, you can have a number of title slides or for different topics without really taking a lot of your time away from your research, from your other commitments. So that's the idea here. I think I don't think you really have to spend a long time. Yeah, for starters. But if you really want to go on further, of course, you can invest a little bit of time and effort into playing around with PowerPoint. Yeah? But for this, I don't think you need to do a lot more actually. Yeah. Or you can put it on the side if you want to and change that to maybe something like that. Sengit sikit kejap ya. To play. This is middle. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so that's the base of this slide. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna have profile picture on the side. Okay, so if you have your own profile picture, tak mau gambar pasport tak mau gambar pasport, tak mau gambar ni. I really nice studio picture because I think when we as a lecturer, we're going to not just give lectures or teach. We also have other commitments or other career advancement in a sense. Yeah? So at some point in your career, you would also perhaps be invited to a plenary or keynote speech and all that. So I think it's nice to have a studio looking picture, have one or two, keep it there, simpan niat, and then use it for your PowerPoint. Yeah. So in this case, I think you have seen the Padlet. All right. I'm going to use one. Let's see. So you can use this one, or you can use your own profile picture. So let's go to a blank slide here. So in here, what is nice? Am I going too fast?
Okay,
or are you looking
okay.
for your profile picture? Okay, all right. So in here, you have just now the long standing guy. This is really the whole full length guy. So I'm already crop it here. Go to picture format. I go to crop. I'm going to crop somewhere just below that. I think that is a nice shot in a sense. Yeah. So the thing that is probably not yet done here, let me just put in solid. Oh, this is already done. Okay. Oh, right. Do you have to actually, because I'm looking at this, I think I need to, let me just go to here. I need to go to, where's mail again? Okay, this one. Okay, I just want to show you, you can remove backgrounds. There are a number of options you can remove background. One is that once you actually insert or drop in, drop and drag, the other way around, drag and drop a picture into a PowerPoint. Yeah, normally you would probably have a white background or other background if it's not usually PNG. So you can go to picture format and you can go to remove background. And in here, you can just zoom in. In removing background, it's best to zoom in. Then you can see the finer details. In this, you can you have in a sense 4 options. One is to keep. So if you want to keep the face, the hand, so you need to click keep and then just drag it across that pencil. Yeah, the hair you're going to keep. But you can see that it's not doing the job that well. It's some really fine blotches there. And if you okay already, I'm going to just remove this one a little bit. Yeah, not that great, but it's okay. I just want to show you how you can do it. You can just click on keep changes and give you a remove an image with remove background. That is what is here after you've done that. And then you can go to crop and you can crop the guy right up there. Okay, so that's one. An easier way, is you can go to this website, remove image background, and you can simply upload the image that you want to remove, your own image, studio pictures of yourself, and upload it, and it will help you to remove the background. The only thing with this free app is that it will give you like a medium resolution image. It's probably fine. It's okay, I think, in a lecture hall, but I think if you have a big conference, meetup, or then a ballroom size, then it will start to give like a poor resolution. It start to break up. So I would suggest that maybe you can I don't know how much they're paying. You can actually have a look at the pricing. You can you can probably pay a bit to get the really nice background removed, yeah, in a sense. But for the sake of this, yeah, for this webinar, we can play on with this in a sense, and then just remove this guy and simply just head back to the or since the subject is already there, I'm going to just move that subject to the side. And then that's probably actually done in a sense. Yeah. And what I do next is I go to picture format, I go to shadow a little bit. I'm going to add that shadow. Yeah, top right offset. By default is black, but I can go to, oops, where's shadow? Shadow, and I can go and use the white, so it looks quite nice. something like that, yeah, more or less, yeah. So then you see something like this. So that's quite nice. Okay. Any question? Okay. All right. So now, since there's no question, I'm going to go on to the next one. Yeah. So this is based on the same one like this. It's the same one. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let me just duplicate. We're going to change this background, replace it with, this is an image, I think, from Pixabay. So I'm going to replace it with an image from the stock images, which is very, very nice. Yeah. That's the image. Insert. Okay, that's done. I can always arrange it. Instead of actually a rectangle here, so I'm going to just unpack it because I think if I give you this, I'm going to give you this slide in the free slide deck or slide templates. I think you can unpack it, but instead of using a rectangle, I use this shape whereby you can play around with it a little bit. Yeah, you can make it slanted a little bit. So it looks quite nice when it's, let me play it. It looks quite nice when it's like that. Yeah. If you arrange it in this way, in like a tiered way, yeah, it looks really nice in a sense. Yeah. Okay. Any question? Do you have to remove the previous image before insert? No, no, no. You don't have to. Don't have to. Let me go out of this PowerPoint. Oops. You don't have to. Here, what I do is I simply click on the image. I right click and I go to change picture. And I can change picture from stock images. And you can go for, say, technology. You can search for technology. Let's go something like that and insert. And just need to adjust a little bit. And there. Okay. Okay, I think that's more than that's probably a bit more than 3, yeah. Okay, let me then if you have no question, let me move on to any tips on the font selection. Fonts, bold, italic, and so on. Okay, thank you for asking. For fonts, actually, here you can see that I use Next. That's my favorite. I used to use Arial. But I think for the past maybe 4 or 5 years, I've changed to Next or Avenir, I think. What's fantastic about Avenir is that I can click on this and I can, it comes in many different weights or thickness. So you have ultra light, that's really, really light. I can have, let me show you. Go back to Next. I can go for regular, I think I can go for medium, that's medium. I can always go for bold or demi-bold and so on. I think with that different weights, you can play around with in a sense, give you a visual texture of the slide, yeah. In here, I have this Avenir Next, demi bold, and this one is, let me just check, Avenir Next regular, but I pair it with something slightly different, which is Gabriola. So you can use Gabriola, let me put here, Gabriola. You can have Lato, Avenir Next is nice. Helvetica, if you want to use, but it's actually overused already. A lot of companies out there are using Helvetica now, yeah. So Helvetica now, yeah. I think that's not too bad, yeah. What else? Let me just see what's my list. Oh, okay. You can also have Montserrat. If you don't have the fonts here, you can Google for the fonts that I've listed down here. And I think you can download some of it and use it in your PowerPoint by installing in your computer, your laptop. Yeah. Okay. We are almost 3:30. I'd like to move on to the last one. Okay, which is again something that we can use from the previous slide. Yeah. So to do this, what we're gonna do a gradient color shape. We're going to play around with this head pop. Is quite nice. I don't know whether Kiman is around, but I saw Chua Kiman's picture, profile picture. So I think you can use this even for your PowerPoint. So let's go to how to do it. Yeah. So what you need is the guy just now. We already have this earlier with the background removed, and you need a circle. That's all you need. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually duplicate both. Okay. So we have both here, one for one side. Okay. And then what we're going to have next is that to have this circle, let me then make it slightly bigger. We're going to have this circle slightly smaller than the image, just slightly smaller, so that when you put it over this guy, the head is outside the circle, so that you can create this head pop effect. Yeah, I'm gonna click Shift and make it smaller. If you don't click Shift, what happens is that it can be a different sizes. Yeah, it's flexible. If you click Shift, it'll be straight away. It'll be in a particular ratio. Yeah, it maintain the width and height aspect of it. Yeah, I'm gonna just click a bit smaller than that. Oops. Oops, this one is already. Let me copy paste. Duplicate this one. Okay, smaller. Okay, so now we have two. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to copy all that. Let me remove this to the side. Change the background first before I forget. Change it for me to the light gray. Remove the no outline. Okay, so we're going to have send to the back. So that's probably okay. And then we're gonna go to intersect. Are you all with me? Can you see that? Yes, okay.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Yes, all right. So next is that we keep this guy there for a while. Yeah. we're gonna change this circle to something like this. So we're gonna click on this, go to the shape format, go to like that, outline, and then I'm gonna just choose the color that I have earlier. And now I'm going to increase the thickness of it. Line. So that's okay. The width is about 1 point now, maybe about 10, something like that, and maybe between 8 to 12. That's, I think, fine. You can also use different colors if you want to, depending on your color scheme. Yeah. So what I do now, I'm going to also, I should actually leave it empty. Sorry, no fill. Yeah, no fill. Carry it over like that. Okay. And what's next is that to carry this guy over here. So now the guy is behind this circle. I'm going to actually bring the guy to the front. Okay. Let me just see. I just want to see whether it's okay or not. To check whether they are aligned or not is just to go to transparencies. Oh, no, not the back one. Choose the guy. Transparencies a little bit just to see whether it's actually matching. Yep, it's matched. See, yes, it's there. Okay. Then what we're gonna do now is we're going to go back to opaque, and we're going to go to picture format, go to crop, and we're gonna crop till about there. Okay, that's done. Yeah. So once done, you choose everything, group them together, copy this. I think we can open a new slide. Yeah. Okay. Oops. I need to press shift. Bigger. So that's done more or less. Yeah. The second one is to make this slide, this shape, sorry, this gradient shape, and later we can add any images at the back or even in front if you use the transparencies. So here, shapes, again the same thing like we did earlier. We use this shape. We're gonna make, rather than a square, we're gonna make a rectangle. Okay. Why do we need to put the photo overlapping? Can we not overlap the photo? If we overlap the photo, what would happen is that you wouldn't see, let me see, let me just ungroup. If you overlap the photo, all right, what would happen is that, let me go to picture format, crop it. Can you see this in front? So this is not nice because it's not cut cleanly by a circle. Yeah. So that's why the trick is that you remove the part that is where it doesn't overlap with the circle. This is one of the tricks. Then you get what you have. This is the bottom layer, the bottom body, and the top is the one that is the head pop. Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. Otherwise, it look messy. Yeah, it look quite messy in a sense.
Tasha, we can't hear you.
Go down here. Okay, so now we already have, this is just now the, do you want me to start from the beginning or maybe here? Are you okay here? Yeah, okay. So once you have that, you bring over the second circle into there to make the frame, okay? And now the head already cropped off, isn't it? So since we want to have the effect, this effect where the head is outside, yeah, it looks nicer because now you are in focus in a sense, yeah. Compared to this one, yeah. So we have the identical one, so we're gonna bring it over here, yeah. But we're not sure whether they are aligned. So to make sure that they align really nice is to check it, click on the image, go to image, check the picture transparency, just see whether they are aligned or not. So I think it looks that they are aligned. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. So then once aligned, you remove the transparency, meaning it's go back to the original. Okay. So now this is a trick. This is a trick. We want to clean up this bit, which is not nice because this is like a rectangle against a circle. So click on this one. You can double click, I think. A bit slow for me. Go to picture format, go to crop, and you can just slowly, if you crop here, I think you're still okay if you want to crop here, but that's look nice as well. You have the elbow just on the circle. That's quite a nice effect as well. Or you can go a bit further if you want to. You can crop a bit higher as well. That's just below it. So here you have to adjust a little bit. It's already out. You see, it's already out of focus. Yeah. I leave it at there. I think it's quite nice already. Yeah. But if you don't overlap the fold properly, it won't be nice. Exactly. That's why I use transparencies to see that we are aligned with the back photo. Yeah. With the back image. Yeah. Okay. And you can of course you can move it around. You can change the let me just see. You can change the colors. Let me just see whether we can play around with that. Oops, not this one. You can change the color of the you can change its color, but let me just see. Sorry for the 8. I don't know whether we have time. I pun dah pening dah ni. Macam mana? Tapi tak apalah. I think I leave it to you. I think you can play around with this. Yeah. I'm going to just go to the next one, the gradient. Okay. Okay. So with the gradient, we already have the picture just now. We're going to base the color on the green and I think blue or purple. Like just see. I've done some of the like this. Okay, not this one. Okay. Okay, these are the two colors that I used earlier. Copy here. I'm going to go to the next slide just now. Oops. Looking for the next slide. Let me just see. Oh yeah, sorry, this one. Okay, so you can decide on the color. Usually, I think it works best when the color is next to each other, is sort of complementary. Then they can actually blend with each other better than if it is actually a contrast, a big contrast or a big like maybe a triad that maybe probably a problem. Yeah. So we're going to click on that shape again. We're going to go to gradient. All right, that's already showing. Yeah. Let me show this one. what if you haven't done the gradient, I think this appear because I've done a bit of playing earlier. But if you haven't done it, you probably see maybe 4 or 5 of these little tabs with colors, yeah, or maybe light colors. I suggest that you just remove everything. Click on one. I cannot seem to remove it now. Let me just see. Oh, okay. Okay, minimum for the tabs is 2, sorry, because we're going to blend them together. But you probably see more than that. You can see, you can see 4 or 5 of them. So remove all the tabs first. We're going to stick with 2 colors. Yeah. Just now we already have solid color with a yellow one. Then we play around with transparency. You can see the image at the back. Now we're going to go for gradient. We're going to blend 2 colors together. So what we're going to do, we leave it as it is. Yeah, as this preset, we're going to change to radial. All right, you can play around with linear if you want to, but we can change with radial. I think it looks nicer. We come back to direction later. All right, and then here we can choose already. I think it's chosen for me already. You can play around with the color, intensity or the hue. Yeah, and then transparencies. Okay. Brightness, if you want it to be a bit more less bright or more intense. Okay. What I want to show here, take a look closely. Because it's radial, it's coming like the sun ray. So more or less now, if I actually, let me just see. Can you see the, okay, maybe I play around with this. Can you see that it'll give you a circle, like a quarter circle. Even with this, you can already do a really nice slide. Let me just send to the back. Can you see that? And then you can put your text over here. Okay. But if you want to have a gradient, like a diffuse, hue of 2 colors, of course you can do something like that. And then play around with the transparencies. Yeah. Especially if you want to put an image at the back, that would be nice. Yeah. Can you see that? So what's next is that once you have that, I'm going to put the guy over here. And if you don't like this one, so now we're going to go back here and work with the direction of the colors. So you can play around with the direction now, more or less, and find the right one for you. Maybe this one, or maybe, yeah, something like that, to give contrast, perhaps the other way. Okay. So once you have that, put it somewhere there, and then you can choose select all text. Oops, where was that? Paste it there. And then can you see there's some probably lines at the back there. So that's an image I took from the stock image. So I'm gonna just go to insert, go to picture, go to stock image, and then here, because coronavirus, I'm gonna just find maybe something on cDNA. Let's try this one. And then what you can do, either you have 2 options. Either you keep it as it is in front, yeah, and you go to picture format, you go to color. Let's just play around a little bit let's see, or maybe not this one, because I want the color. Then I can play around with transparencies. That's not that good. It's okay. Then if it's not that good, or I'll send it to the back, and then I'll change these transparencies of this this box. Oops. Something like that, I think. Let me just see. If you can see, I play a lot actually, but it's still really, it just doesn't take like half an hour to do all this. Yep, something like that. Yeah. Okay, question. Could you show again how to make the two square of colors? What is the function here? Okay, the two square of colors. If you open a new slide, remove everything. Okay, and then I go to shapes. I just going to use a square, but going to expand the square to a rectangle. Okay, so now it's blue. All right, so we need to choose two colors. Try to choose colors that can blend together. Don't really use colors which is like a total opposite, unless you're really expert in graphic design. And I'm not. I'm not a graphic designer, to be honest. Yeah, I try to play like this. It's okay, but it's not brilliant. Yeah. So I would suggest, if you want to use this gradient, start with two only. And then as you become more familiar with different colors or the way it blends, then you can always go for more, play around. You can go for 4 or 5 colors and see how it gives you a different unique blend. Yeah. So here I'm gonna just use the colors that I picked earlier. These two colors. Put it there, and then I click on the rectangle. I go to gradient. You can see that it's already given some colors there. So I just go to the tab, go to the color, and choose this one. And again, the same thing. I think it's got my color already. Go to, okay, it's green, that's fine. Or you can choose different color, maybe lighter, something like that. Though the color is not nice for me in my eyes, but it's okay. Just to show you the concept. So I'll just go back to this. And from there, you can play around with transparencies, yeah, brightness if you want to. Or you can play around on how the colors are distributed or blended, yeah, by the directions. Yeah. So if you have, for example, the guy here, I'm going to copy this guy, put it over here, and I can always flip this to the other side. Go to align. Oops, cannot see. Go to, let's rotate and flip horizontal. Okay. I like to have the speaker, the image to look at the text if possible. So if I have all the text, copy all the text, and then I'll go back to here, and then you can always put the logo and so on at the bottom, the branding and so on. Yeah. Okay. This is my third time I repeat. So again, if you want to use the gradient, let's go back to solid. Solid, nothing really at the back there. something like this. This is solid, yeah. So just to add in a gradient, to add in a point of interest to your title slide, to make it more professional and really look good, is you go to gradient, yeah. Then you skip all that, but use radial, and then you add in the colors here. Example, you can add red. Ouch, my eyes hurts actually. And you can go to perhaps something that's the same color, sorry. Something like that. Yeah. Not brilliant, but just to give you an idea how to do it. And you can play around with the different direction, different color. Yeah. Okay. Are you okay?
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the question was bukan yang gradient tu, the two box yang color purple and green tu. How to do that in the first place? I think that was the question.
Oh, that was the question. That was okay. I showed it earlier in the first slide here, but it's okay. I'll repeat. So the box, this box ke? These two box. Betul ke?
Yes, yes. I think yeah, she said yes, yeah.
These two box, I go to the box, I go to the square, like this. Duplicate. Okay. I click on this square, one of the squares. I go to shape. I go to shape and I go to, say this is my color of choice. And second, I go to, again, the second shape. I go to shape fill. Now I'm going to pick the color. Fill color. I go to the, is it eyedrop or color picker? I can pick this red color or somewhere in the middle orange or yellow. I'm going to choose something like that. So that's picked. I click OK. So there you go. Okay. Answers your question? Okay. Any more questions before I close the session? Just quickly, in general, I think you have seen how you can use colors in PowerPoint. Yeah. Use of space as well in terms of using text, using the square box. I think the square box is, if you really want to go really basic, that's the first thing you should start. Then you can play around with, make it, expand it over to make it rectangle, make it shorter to occupy a third of the bottom of your slide. You can play around with a different shape, but keep the 1/3 rule in mind, yeah, because what occupies the largest part of their slide, that's where your audience will pay attention to, yeah. And then I talk about fonts, and then images. I think fonts you can download from Google Images and so on, yeah. I haven't seen much perhaps from the, is there anything on the Padlet? Oh, wow, okay, oh, that's nice. Wow, fantastic. That's really nice. That's really cool. Wow, look at that. Look at that, really nice. Wow. And the thing is that about this here, let me just show you, let me just share two more tricks. With each of these, for example, this one, let me just go back to the first one. What you can do, if you already have a YouTube, you can simply just go do a screen capture, because this slide is already in 1920 by 1080. You screen capture and use this as your YouTube thumbnail. Okay, that's the first one. All right. Second one is that if you can also screen capture, and if you're doing a micro-credential courses where you need to do the course banner on top, you can simply just copy this, and that would be your course banner. But of course, you have to play around a bit with the sizes, but that's done. Yeah. So that's I think all from me. Let me just see. Okay, now I feel like using PowerPoint as alternative to Canva. How do I get the copyright icon? This one at the bottom, you can just simply CC by, just Google for CC by. Oop. CC by NCSA and so on. I think you can get it from Wikipedia. Yeah. Okay. Right. If you have the time, please just put in some reflection what you have learned from this webinar. Which dalam gelung. Okay, all right. And that would be nice. I think I'll keep it in mind. And the password, if you already managed to get downloaded the Maya slide, yeah, the password is contrast. Yeah, so enjoy. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Aisha. This is Salwan.
Yes, Salwan, Cik Salwan. Hai.
Apa khabar? Sihat ya?
Baik, Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, sorry,
Yes.
Prof. Ada meeting, ada event.
Tak apa.
So,
Okey je.
So,
Absolutely.
we really thank you, Dr. Aisha, for an enlightening session with us today. It's actually an eye-opening presentation and sharing. Let us.
Ini baru title slide ya?
Apa dia?
Ini baru title slides.
Oh, ini only a title slide. A long way to go. I think not even 1% of out of the total ilmu yang Dr. Aisha ada. I've already attended Dr. Aisha's classes in fact, and memang banyak perkara yang boleh kita belajar dari Dr. Aisha. Yeah. So follow closely dengan perkembangan daripada Dr. Aisha. Well, let's give Dr. Aisha a big round of applause by clicking the reaction button. Okay.
Thank you everyone.
Yes. Okay. So terima kasih Dr. Aisha.
Sama-sama.
Atas kesediaan memenuhi jemputan ini. So
okay. I hope you get something from there.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, for USM staff, kindly fill out the following feedback form to get your CPD points. Ada dah dipaparkan the link for you to click on it and please give some feedback. And the link will only be active for only 30 minutes. So for those who just stay on, you'll be able to click on it and please give our feedback. And CPD points will be given to all USM staff who fully attended this webinar via WebEx and complete the feedback form. Okay, Dr. Aisha, terima kasih sekali lagi. Terima kasih Daun Keladi. InsyaAllah kita akan berjumpa lagi.
Alright, Encik Salwan. Terima kasih
banyak. To all participants, thank you for your time, for joining us today. Hopefully we can meet up again in more and more other webinars that we are going to have. Yeah, we are going to conduct in the next future. With that, thank you very much to all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.